What is up, everybody? How is everybody doing today? And welcome back to another Clash Mini video on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over the tier list. After these balance changes, things were going crazy in the meta. I didn't want to put out a tier list until I got a very good grasp of the meta and how it was shaping up. So here we go. Let's just jump right into this tier list. There's always going to be hot takes. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this tier list. If I'm wrong, if I'm right, if you agree, or if you disagree. Starting it off here, we are going to be having the D tier. The Fisherman, Barbarian, Guard, and Swordsman are going to be part of the D tier. The Fisherman, unfortunately, just doesn't get much value now that it only has one tile to pull. Yes, it could be fun to use as a last mini if your deck doesn't really need that last mini and you just want to yank something off a special tile later on, but other than that, it doesn't get you value. Barbarian. Really only good with Barbarian King, and now the Barbarian King is later. Well, not really so much later in the meta, but it just isn't as strong as it once was, and the Barbarian Kings that we're seeing now do not have Barbarian in it, so that's why the Barbarian's going all the way down. Guard as well, just not where it needs to be. Doesn't do enough. I'd rather have a Golden Giant or a Knight instead of a Guard. Swordsman, unfortunately, just doesn't have enough firepower right now to even be considered as a strong mini. Next up, we have the C tier. All right, we have our first hero here. It's going to be the Skeleton King, followed by our second hero, the Royal Champion. These two heroes right here, unfortunately, just don't give you enough value inside of Clash Mini to really protect yourself and do damage. Yes, the Skeleton King's nerf really hurt it and dropped it all the way down to the C tier, and the Royal Champion just doesn't get you too much value because you're seeing so many Wave Masters all over the meta and Shield Maidens and everything else as far as big beefy boys. Minis for the C tier are going to be Knight, Ice Wizard, we have Magic Archer, we have the Witch, we have the Wizard, we have the Lumberjack, and we have the Battle Healer. All right, the Knight, really good mini, really stable mini, but unfortunately the C tier is where it's going to have to be. Yes, it could be a B tier, probably should be in the B tier, but it's kind of a basic mini, doesn't get you too much value. I really hope that this mini can perform a little bit stronger in the future patches. Ice Wizard as well just doesn't get you anything because nobody uses it. A lot of people running Ice Wizard, a lot of people running Wave Master, I apologize, and it just doesn't get you that value. Once the Wave Master goes away, it kind of just slows something else and it doesn't really pick up too much value. The Magic Archer, yes, in theory it's good, but Wave Master being at the top of the meta right now, just make sure that the Magic Archer doesn't have its time to shine. Same thing with the Witch, exact same principle as the Magic Archer. You just heal for days, and with the Wave Master versus the Witch, it doesn't get you much value. Yes, the Witch's range was a nice thing. Yes, the Witch is still very good versus Monk and versus other heroes, but it just doesn't get you enough firepower yet. Wizard as well in the C tier. Wizard unfortunately just isn't amazing yet. It's so close, it's so good. I think it's in a good spot, but the meta is where it is right now, and the meta says C tier for the Wizard. Lumberjack, I have not seen one Lumberjack, but I can't put it in the D tier. It did get a nice buff. We're going to keep it in the C tier. Lumberjack is okay. It's a solid, stable mini. It just doesn't do too much. Battle Healer as well. Battle Healer. There's a lot of anti-heal in the game, especially with people running Valkyrie. That's huge. And healing right now, there's just so much damage that healing, you can just out damage the heals. That's why in the C tier here, the Battle Healer is going to be. In the B tier, we have the Monk, the Countess, the Archer Queen, and the Barbarian King. That's 4 heroes into the B tier here. The Monk is strong, but it just isn't there yet. The Countess is very strong, but it just isn't there. The Archer Queen is strong, but it just isn't there. And the same thing with the Barbarian King. All of these heroes are viable. All of these heroes can pick up wins. All of these heroes are strong, but they're just not super powerful. That is why they are all in the B tier. They're kind of all clumped together. Next up, we have the minis in the B tier. It is the Mini P.E.K.K.A, the Musketeer, the P.E.K.K.A, the Prince, the Giant Skeleton, the Miner, the Archer, Mega Knight, and Bowler. What do all these minis have in common? They're good minis, but they're not great minis. The Mini P.E.K.K.A, yes, it can pick up a lot of value, but it's no longer a carry in a lot of decks. A lot of Mini P.E.K.K.A decks have Valkyrie in it or other carries that are just better than the Mini P.E.K.K.A right now, but the Mini P.E.K.K.A does pick up value in certain scenarios. Musketeer, the only reason why it's in the B tier is because it's a super solid, stable mini. I cannot put it lower than the B tier because it does everything good. It doesn't do anything amazing, but it does everything good, and that is why it is in the B tier. It's really good with Archer Queen as well. That's really the only deck that it gels super well with. P.E.K.K.A here. P.E.K.K.A does a lot of damage if you use it right. It does no damage if you use it wrong. It's just a good mini. That is why it's in the B tier. We have the Prince as well. The Prince is sitting here in the B tier. If you get a connection, great. If you miss, If you miss and hit something in the back line, still good. Could the Prince be in the A tier? Potentially, but we're going to leave it in the B tier for now. Next up, we have the Giant Skeleton. The Giant Skeleton, absolutely a great mini, but unfortunately right now it just doesn't do enough in the current meta to get value. It just doesn't stun enough. There's a lot of backline minis. There's a lot of minis that are moving and grooving around the board, and that is why it is in the B tier. Miner in the B tier as well. Miner's a good mini. Miner gets value, but it also doesn't get value in a lot of situations as well. Right now it's a hit or miss mini, and with people running Royal Ghost and a lot of frontline minis, and if you just use the Miner to clear out a Spear Goblin, not really going to get you too much value. Archer is our next mini up in the B tier. Archer is just a good, stable mini. Doesn't really do too many things amazingly. Doesn't really do anything terribly. But without the Barbarian to really boost her up in the beginning and not being able to get a lot of value with that Archer combination anymore, you just see that the Archer is slacking a little bit. There's a lot of Royal Ghosts that make everything invisible, and the Archer just does not get her 3rd star ability to really ramp up. That is why the Archer is in the B tier. Mega Knight, good mini. It's taking a lot of hits. It's going from left to right to right to left. It's all over the place. Can't really put it higher than the B tier. Next up, we have the Bowler. Bowling, not going to be able to get too much value here. Yes, with the recent nerf, we're still keeping it in the B tier because it still does get value, even if you have to put it all the way up front, even if you have to invisible it with the Royal Ghost, it does still get value. It is a decent Clash mini. That is why it is in the B tier. Pretty much if you're a Clash mini and you have a good Clash ability, you're going to be in the B tier or higher. Next up, we have the A tier. A tier is going to consist of a hero being the Shield Maiden. The Shield Maiden, in my opinion, is a very strong hero. If this was not a level 8 or level 9 Shield Maiden, I would probably put the Shield Maiden at around the C tier. So just keep that in mind. If your Shield Maiden is not level 8 plus, it is in the C tier. There is no A tier minis, A tier heroes, really, in my opinion. In the lower levels, maybe you could have a Countess up there, maybe an Archer Queen, but just keep that in mind. Shield Maiden, this is only a level 8 plus Shield Maiden. It's very good, it's very tanky, it gets you value, and it allows your carries to do damage. Next up, we have the minis in the A tier. What is the A tier? The A tier is strong minis, but not super overpowered broken minis. We have the Spear Goblin here. Spear Goblin couples very, very well with a lot of invisibility. The Spear Goblin sits in the back. It does the damage with the spear, that 5 damage to start, and then it just keeps on throwing spears. It gets you that value that you want. It pretty much does everything that you want if you are using an invisibility deck. Next up, we have the Electric Wizard. I know a lot of people are probably sitting here and they're like, oh, Enchatin, Electric Wizard, S tier, what are you saying? Yes, it's a very good mini. Yes, it's a very strong mini, but I think it is probably the 4th best carry inside of Clash Mini, and I couldn't just put so many minis in the S tier. That is why it is in the A tier. Might be the best mini in the A tier, but all of these minis are great. Golden Giant is going to be our next mini up in the A tier here. Golden Giant picks up so much value. It's just such a strong mini. It just is tanky. It is thick. That's really it. You don't need to upgrade it. It does what it's supposed to do. It's just as a beefy boy, does 2 damage and soaks up the damage. A tier for the Golden Giant. And versus Wave Master, you can upgrade it so that when the Wave Master stuns it, it just heals 4 days. Next up, we have the Healing Ranger. Why is the Healing Ranger so good? Why is the Healing Ranger so important? It is because the Healing Ranger is really, really strong with Shield Maiden, with Archer Queen. It's just so good with a lot of heroes because it does get you that heal, it does get you that value, it does get you that rage, it does get you everything you want in a mini, and there isn't a lot of minis that can clear it out in the back line right off of the bat. For that fact alone, it is going to be an A tier mini. Could have been an S tier mini, close, but we have the S tier coming up right now. We're going to tell you the best minis inside of Clash Mini. All right, here we go. We have the S tier minis. We have the Wave Master as our hero in the S tier. It is all over everywhere. If you are playing Clash Mini, you know why the Wave Master is in the S tier. It picks up value like you better believe. On the left side of the map, on the right side of the map, all the way in the back, all the way in the front. The stuns, the heals, it has everything you want for a hero inside of Clash Mini currently in this meta, and that is why it is in the S tier. Now we have the minis in the S tier. It is going to consist of the Royal Ghost, the Valkyrie, and the Dart Goblin. The reason why the Royal Ghost is here is because I think everybody has seen a 3-star Royal Ghost. It is absolutely massive. It is crazy. It carries like you better believe, and that is why the Royal Ghost is in the S tier. It just does so much damage, so much healing, so much invisibility, and that is why it is so annoying to play against, and it does amazing in the right situation. Valkyrie in the S tier here as well, because the Valkyrie picks up so much value. If you haven't seen a 3-star Valkyrie, well, maybe you should try it for yourself of how good it is, especially with the Royal Ghost. It just does everything you want. It spins to win. It does anti-healing. It ramps up. It heals itself when it gets an elimination. It is just a super balanced, super strong mini, maybe a little bit too overtuned, but it is absolutely a mini that should be in the S tier right now. And in my opinion, the best mini inside of Clash Mini is the Dark Goblin. And the reason why is because if you can place the Dark Goblin correctly, if you can avoid playing versus Wave Masters, it does work. 2-star Dark Goblin is all you need to just run through an entire army. You can also upgrade it to 3 stars as well in round number 5 and just continue to take care of business. Dark Goblin is in a lot of my decks right now because it just gets so much value and is such a strong carry if used correctly. And that is why the Dark Goblin, in my opinion, is one of the top 3 best minis. I think all 3 of these are up there. I think the Dark Goblin and the Royal Ghost might outclass the Valkyrie just a little bit, but they're all good minis. Thank you guys so much for watching this YouTube video. I hope you guys are enjoying the content on the channel. I love each and every single one of you guys. We're going to be coming out with content nice and hot. We are moving into this new place. I still haven't set up the lighting. I just increased the brightness on the webcam. So we are going to get the lighting in here. We're going to get some more foam boards, and it is going to be looking nicer. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love each and every single one of you guys. Like, subscribe. If you guys have a problem with anything that I said in the video, please let me know in the comments below. I love each and every single one of you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow for my next video.